December the 23rd, 2012. My name is Michael Wright, and this is the weekend webinar. For the recording, please do pause the video and read the risk disclaimer. And for those of you guys who are here, please take time out to scan through the disclaimer as well. Okay, no open trades, so let's jump right into the market. All right. Let's first go over price action last week. Very interesting to say the least, right? On my end, I do like to go over price action, especially when certain big moves were missed, and the downside was the focus. We caught the kiwi at the top. Remember this short, right? So this short had played out well, and at that time, okay, let's look at what occurred. Was looking for that 80-50 to hold, okay? So we got the initial bounce, right, or just around that area, but then smashed through to the downside. On the weekly time frame, okay, Kiwi to the double top and literally erased the previous week and even came down to that week before. So you see the double top. Uh, Possibly that this high is not it. Could post 85 before a bigger turnaround, but the top end is getting pretty thin. Okay, the top end is getting pretty thin, and looking at that specific zone, if this double top does hold, then we're looking into the 70 area. Okay. But going back into the key, any bounces is a shorting opportunity, in my opinion. If you look at the 4-hour Ichimoku, slammed right to the downside. Okay, so it slammed right to the downside. Looking for a setback, possibly to 84. That could be another short on a daily time frame. Okay, it's coming against the cloud support. Probably won't look to bottom pick this. Going to be in a sort of monitoring for the Kiwi for this last week of December, but looking to see those developments there. Aussie dollar, again, another interesting setup. Was looking for this bottom edge to hold. This indeed did break support as well. All right, broke two key support areas, and more importantly, also broke the daily. Now, on this daily time frame, even if I draw it to the wick, all right, still below it. All right, so now I'm looking at a setback. Any setbacks towards 105 is a great risk to reward short, in my opinion. Again, we're looking at 100 pips higher, and that setback could really open up some downside into parity. All right, so this makes the call that the Kiwi top is in place then. All right, because we're looking at setbacks in the Aussie. Again, any move towards 105 as a short on its back test, we're looking at that as a short into 99, that parity area. So this ideally is an A, top edge B, and then 101 ideally first with a break below exposing 98. So that opens up a lot of downside in the Aussie. But again, I'd rather just wait. I don't want to really bottom pick this end here. Could go to 103 before bouncing. All right, that 103, you get the 61A fib extension. That could bounce back to 105 and then really get a sell-off. So with that being said, we're still looking at some downside. The downside in the Aussie, I'm not looking to play just because unless it starts flagging somewhere on the hourly charts, I don't really like that too much on the fib extensions. Okay, the 261 comes in a bit deeper. Let's put the time zone back a little bit more. All right, so 103.60. All right, but I rather and we'll look to play Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie triangle at the top, providing signals of a fourth wave. So now looking for a top edge like blowout. All right, so if it breaks above here, may look to place the long edge, and looking for targets a tad bit higher. All right, those targets higher on your Aussie for 127.50. So this makes the call for that 100 pip rally. So still leading the Aussie and Kiwi a little bit lower before a bounce comes into correction. Now 127.50 my opinion could be a great short. So first I'm going to look to play that breakout. All right. This is one definitely probably watch and play this week. Um, Breakout 127.50 targets. Depending on how it breaks out, rather get a candle holds above. If we hold like 127.80, probably put stops at 126.20. That put us below both support areas. But then look 40 with a 100 pip target. But then now it will put the daily Euro Aussie above resistance, and then we will look for a top edge wick, right? We will look for a pin bar because 127.50 is above, but then we will watch for the daily close to come back within. As long as it comes back within, then our downside targets off of that 127.50 for Euro Aussie pivot comes down into the open gap near 124.50. So giving us about a 300 pip decline, right? Uh, Talking about right here, but still a buy at lower levels. That's the ideal play, right? Looking for a spike out of that fourth wave, 127.50. That's also just around that other previous high, the top edge wick here. Let's move that B wave, all right? So just around this zone here, cut post a double top, and then look for reverses. So ideally, that's one of the close edge plays we're looking at earlier on in the week, playing the hourly, going back out to the daily, and then looking for a 300 pip decline here. Um, then that will give Aussie dollar an ideal bounce. Again, we said at the 61.8 fib extension back to the top side for a retest, and then a retest could bode well for shorts into the new year. Then that means this is very bearish. We were looking at this for quite some time, and finally got some movements later on. The movements came a tad bit weird. No real fluctuations, just a legit sell-off. So now we look to capture those gains or re-enter that edge and get those top edge there. So then also 105 is in because that's also the top edge of the 4-hour descending trend line from the top. So we can start now deleting some trend lines that broke. All right. And then the one that bodes well is 105 on a back test. It will take some time. 103, get a full move here. It will also hold below this weekend. So ideal path, pull back up somewhere into 61.8 fib. We'll see where the trend line then lies later on. Would be probably somewhere the first half of January, and then 105. Start looking for big swing orders into again 101 with a break exposed, and then 98. Everybody with me so far? Hello, Diane. Makes sense so far? Okay. Now, besides that, all right, also wanted to look at the euro and the pound because not really moving along with the commodity currencies, but the pound dollar is. Pound dollar, remember we tried this Ichimoku 1 hour strategy. The first one I closed out on the spike. Kiwi. Okay, so we tried this first crossover. It spiked up to the top side. It did end up holding that 78.6 fib before reversing, and then we got a second chance. Was going to call this crossover here, didn't. This signal bode well, and we finally got that massive sell-off, almost 100 pips to the downside. Now, worth watching this end here. For the new year, one piece. Let's see if I have it up already. So one piece we're going to start doing more of is these strategies. We trade a lot more than what we show you guys just because it's very difficult. But I'll show you guys one. So this is the pound dollar. So following that strategy, this is what it generates with the different targets. Looking for a way to really show and have it easily that you guys can follow us easily here. We provide most of this with the coaching. We have a bunch of strategies in the coaching area, which a lot of our coaching students take full advantage of because it's obviously you learn it. It's easy to follow. However, with over 180 members, everybody's knowledge is different. So we have a bunch of strategies: Kiwi dollar 4 hour, Euro dollar, Aussie dollar, even more of calls for days. So looking to find ways to implement that, and that's something I want to touch briefly on is our outlook for next year. Right, I'm gonna write an email too, so everybody will have notice of what our next steps for the new year. So let's touch on that real quick, get back to some charts, and answer your questions. So again, for the new year, obviously I showed you guys those strategies. We may just keep it in the trading area, just because, again, that emotional aspect of different traders doesn't bode well for everybody, and especially in the chat room, that actually becomes very bad. People's emotions, right? But besides that, the strategies, we may keep it there, we may reveal it. Again, something we probably have a solution to this week. Aside from that, the next big point of reference that a lot of members have is a trade copier, right? For the trade copier, it is something that we're thinking about. For us, we don't just trade. Obviously, we have technical analysis, fundamentals, the videos, the webinars, etc., the coaching. So the trade copier aspect, the goal for the service is as much education as it is trading and everything else. So still looking at that and also the legal end of that. Again, for us, we're not here for just a couple months. We're here to stay for quite some time. So obviously on the business end, not rushing into that part. So we'll see. Ideally, all bodes well, middle of next year. If not, then we will release some robots. That's definitely the middle of next year as well. Robots basically having these strategies automated, so that you can follow the robots and not all of our other ends, if that makes sense. So you have strategies like these. So that will be the supplement. If we do not specifically do a trade copier that matches our performance, we will provide you guys with all of the strategies via robots. So I guess that will supplement that and still hold that in there. Away from there, we also speak about the broker issues. Everybody has different brokers. You guys all know we are looking to apply as an IB. So that is on the horizon. Looking to filter out some of these brokers. I have a preference already. So in talks there. Again, that's something that takes a little bit of time, but we are in the works for there as well. I have about 2 other trading additions that you guys will see. So looking forward to them as well. We have that point. On top of that, the technical analysis section, you guys know we have charts there right now. We probably are going to skew that a little bit and make it so that each section there's a daily video, right? So rather than us taking screenshots and just posting it there for you guys with the written notes, we are going to veer into just providing a daily video for each section on top of key upcoming events that we will have there. So that's also another big notice. Looking forward to that. And also specifically scalping, but only training room scalps. Again, something to really start capturing more of. Right now, you guys just only follow us, but there's so much other trading like 5 minute, 15-minute trading that we do a lot of. We even have 5 minute strategies, even trading gold and etc. Sometimes to get those alerts out takes a little bit of time. So watch out for that as well. And away from that, um, you guys already know about the coaching and all of these other features. So um, any questions there with some of the announcements going forward? I'm going to put it more in detail with an email, but that and you guys have any questions? Corinne says, I see what you mean, Michael. I have trouble with the signals because when it comes out, I may miss the entry or exit by 105 pips. Exactly, that's trading, man. Um, that's trading. And really looking to even increase the knowledge across the board just because obviously everybody like once you are fully educated with trading, you understand the drawdowns, everything else. It even filters out outside of the room stuff. So being having only scalping trades in the signals area, obviously that'll match up and there'll be a tad bit more trading there. Obviously with the scalping though, it'll just be only room trades, will not be reflected in our performance. So for those of you guys who aim to trade more, it'll be there. But when we send out official signals across the board, again, we will color coordinate this. It'll be easy to follow. Don't get too confused or caught up now. Just talking to you guys about plans going forward, but keep notice of that there as well. Okay. Any questions about that before we move on? Pretty clear. Cut forward. All good. Randall, Raphael, Cruz, Diane, Steven, any questions? All right, all clear. Awesome. And also, we could talk about performance as well. I'm gonna send out an email. Year went great, to say the least. Performance-wise, out of 13 months, we only had one down month, being this month, December. Let's pull that up. Okay, so uh, great month, up over 3,500 pips. So that bodes well. Top expectations by far across the board. So every quarter was profitable, and the year was profitable, obviously, and really looking forward to that stuff. So I'm definitely glad about that. And kept the drawdown minimal, 1 out of 13. I know can't be topped. So really looking forward to providing the same basis, the same next year. Stay on that point. Uh, Diane says, without fundamentals, how do I get the direction? How I trade? And then Diane, I know you come to the webinar, so it's literally just like that every month over and over again. This is not me, right? The team, I know Liam talks about fundamentals. We all trade a tad bit differently. Chris does Ichimoku. Chris acknowledges the fundamentals. Liam takes it into full account. Khan also takes it into full account as well. Our fundamental writer obviously takes into account. That's just not my style in particular. And you're talking 12 out of 13 months, I think, something to prove for herself on that notice. So we'll see how next year plays itself out, but very excited about that performance there. Okay. M. Cruz says, Mike, is this week going to have liquidity? It's going to be thin, so even for us, we're not going to trade as much. I'm probably going to keep the trades very, very light. And if at all, again, I only really like Euro Aussie. I'll go back to the chart soon, but liquidity is likely to be thin. So for you guys to take a week off may bode well and kick things off fresh for the new year in January. Daya says, how did you come up with the trade setup? You guys talk and discuss and come up with it? Yeah, all the time. I'll show you, for example. I have a team room, just me and the guys. Mm. Don't mind the jokes, but for example, my most recent one was Dollar Swiss looks like a good short. I post my chart setup, and then I'll get a comment at some point. All right, so this is my chart setup up to the guys. Uh, uh, Khan had a couple good ones. Khan was also talking about the daily Swiss as well. This was his viewpoint. Looking at the wicks. So we do stuff like that across the board, and then we aim to come up with the best one that we could all agree on from our different takes, right? So that end, um, and we do this a lot, all day long actually. So keep on going. This is my chart setup. Con again with a euro pound. He's not too active in the chat room. Again, our focus is trading. We don't like to deal too much with the. A lot of there's a lot of experienced people in the trading room as well, and some that's too emotional. Obviously, for us, we just deal with the charts. Here goes Chris, the Euro Aussie, etc. All right. So this is what we do on a consistent basis, and that's us. And as you see, there's no fundamental talks in the room usually. Okay. All right. Sounds good, Diane. Yeah, and Chris is perfect. Uh, all right. See Randall's writing, and then I'll get back to the charts. Randall says, "How are you going to score the outcome of the short Euro Aussie from last Sunday? How am I going to score it? I don't know what you mean. If it's a profit, no. If it's a profit, it was a loss. I put loss. Like, I'm not sure what you mean. How I'm gonna score it. Oh, you talking about the one that gapped up? Oh yeah, it was a loss. So I'll put loss down. Like, I'm gonna show performance. um, yeah, I'll show performance. Like, I don't care if I was down 400 pips this month. Still 12 out of 13. All right. And again, I really like what I do here. Again, I know one question I get is a lot. Oh, okay. So just right now, it's be there. I'll just look it over. My intern updates the stuff and sends out the alert, so it's gonna be there. Again, I don't. I'm gonna show performance. If I was down 500 pips, you still can't deny being up over 3,000 pips for the year. Uh, all right. Diane says my trading style is scalping or swing. Swing. All right. And just so you guys know, I don't. I prefer trading. The business side of things is cool. I'm a trader at the end of the day. I get this. The question I get a lot is why this service if you could trade. I like. I just like talking to people, teaching. I don't mind it one bit, right? There is gonna be a point at which uh, this will be, say this right. I will be a hedge fund. All right. I have the resources and etc. to do it now. I'm pretty young, so but there will be a point in which that I will be there, right? Um, while becoming a hedge fund, right? We'll see when that point comes to fruition. But I'm a trader. Uh, the emotional part of everybody else, I just I don't like to deal too much with. I try to teach the emotional points, the risk management, and etc. Obviously, some people catch on, other people don't. And we show a track record. And Randall, I could post a loss. I don't care to post a loss. Like I have a talent that is not seen. Period. Right. Um, and in the market of trading, I could easily, if I wanted to re-enter, make 200 a year. I just don't. I like what I do. So I'll post it. I'll post a loss. I'll post a profit. Um, it's part of the game. And once you realize the game, everything becomes easy. All right. Mm. So let's go back to the charts anyway. Um, so yeah, I like your Aussie. That's probably like one of the best setups I would say. Aussie CAD. Watching it closely. Is the hourly chart. Watching Aussie CAD closely. Uh, I'm watching Aussie CAD closely, looking for the bottom edge to hold. We'll see. Did a false break to the bottom side. Could be a potential big trade into the new year. Here also have a top edge resistance coming down. And then on the daily time frame, still holding within it. So stalking that, looking for some setups. If it could break to the downside, indeed. So just need a little more confirmation. Maybe on the next break, we'll begin to open it up. And then with that being said, that becomes the Aussie dollar move, which should really accelerate things. Now, seems as if it broke already, okay? But because Aussie dollar has a little more and then a swift move back to the top side, may bode well to wait, see how it becomes, maybe get a clearer breakout lower, all right, and then look for a full retest back towards resistance for bigger shorts. All right, so am watching that as well. Kiwi CAD. So Kiwi CAD is actually obviously showing that bigger swift move. Aussie CAD seems to be lagging. So Aussie Kiwi, there goes your lag. Okay. Aussie Kiwi, in my opinion, still has a tad bit more upside. Would rather short right against that trendline resistance, about 127.30. Okay. Complex correction to say the least. But still, the bigger moves are to the downside. Let's hope moving A, B, and then still looking somewhere towards the 115 mark. Okay. Um, so, and watching that as well. Okay, here. So we'll see how this comes to place. A big one, a big trade I'm watching actually for the new year is Euro Yen. I spoke about this before, but I will be all over this trade. If we could get a pullback towards 103.60, I will call out the swing. I'll probably book it for 200 pips with you guys, but bigger term profits. Personally, probably looking for 150. Okay, looking for 103, then looking for 150. Big term, that's a swing. That's a major swing. It just becomes a buy and hold, and not look at it and just trade everything else around it. Go to break even, and then really not touch it. All right, could play out for maybe a year or two, but looks like a big massive move. You see the same thing across the board for all yen pairs. I believe there's a pullback in the cards. Okay. But those pullbacks I am looking to buy and will be all over for major swings higher. Everything is showing the same thing, divergence, the whole nine, you would say. So for those who like to really look at big swing trades, I know a lot of big funds, etc. They've been buying for quite some time. For me, I've just been watching. Dollar yen has been monstrous, but this pullbacks are buy on a bigger term time frame, right? In terms of weeklies, you could by all means intraday catch shorts. Obviously, you could make money on both sides, but bigger term pullbacks are buy. Even if you pull back to 80 on the dollar yen, by all means, this is a buy. All right. I wouldn't say take out a loan and bet the whole farm on it, but this is a big term buy technically, and pullbacks you're just looking much higher, 110 possibly for dollar yen over the next year or two. Corinne says Euro yen what happened mid 2009. I don't know. What do you mean what happened? What do you mean what happened? The big drop here? You mean this is '07? It's '08. Oh wait. All right. That was a big crash, man. That was a big crash. Yeah, that one. Yeah, everything was down '08, right? Everything was down, man. S&P, everything, man. Right? Thanks to the housing market. Um, everything. The same thing across the board. That's a big one. But besides that, that's the big trade I'm looking at for next year. Well, all yen prices. Short time frames. A pullback is due still. Could get still massive swings lower. It will be interesting to see how the yen courses play out with the big expected drop. But we'll look to short. Okay. Like even if you look, sorry about that. Even if you look at the Aussie yen versus its counterpart Aussie dollar, you can't say a catch up is needed, right? So outside of that Euro Aussie trade, probably look to capture some of these yen pairs and look for that as a sort of lagging part that will play catch up. So other than looking to short some of these yens, it will, in my opinion, bode well for looking for Aussie yen, Euro yen, etc. to play catch up to the downside, but then always keeping that weekly in mind where we look to buy at a bigger level later on. Yeah, yen is obviously a safe haven. The thing about that, Karan, if you look at correlation wise, December and November has been well. The end of December started, I guess, correlating back with the dollar, the yen being, but however, in November was a straight divergence. First time seeing that in a while. We've seen it back. Uh, mid '11. Um, haven't really seen divergence that this year, but seen it last year. Think we seen it also in '09. Didn't really see too much of it in '10. Okay, but throughout it, right, while the Aussie dollar was fluctuating, Aussie yen was ripping higher on the back of dollar yen, right? Euro yen, everything just kept on ripping higher. But again, that pullback is due. So watching out against that. Could bode well against the recent highs. Waiting to see some more breakage. Obviously, for our end, we're going to start shortening up the time frame and try to catch these moves. Okay, Dahlia, in my opinion, I believe could pull back a lot. Uh, Dahlia still these levels are amazing to say the least at how it's holding, but could pull back into 79. All right, that's what I'm expecting. So I'm expecting these highs to hold on a bigger term time frame. Okay, that's on a bigger term time frame. We take a look at dollar yen, holding that this recent top here. So holding those wicks. Divergence is pretty. On the RSI is pretty much at massive elevated levels. If we take a look at even the extension, okay. So 85 possible. Again, shortening it up, I'm not going to top pick it. More so going to wait for some hourly reversals, but heading back towards that top edge want to start seeing some pin bars forming and then some hourly breakage and begin to catch some of these moves lower. All right. Euro yen. Okay. I spoke about looking to buy on the weekly, but if you shorten it up here too, my opinion, this is the pin bar. All right, you see here, um, undecided bulls fail to keep control of here. All right, so this against the highs could bode well. Once the dollar yen starts lower, obviously these other pairs will begin to follow suit. That has been the course of action so far. So am indeed looking for that to continue to play its hand. All right. On a extension wise, okay. Okay, so exceeded the 100 already. Um, I don't believe 115 is in the cards just yet. In my opinion, a tad bit early. So modified that a tad bit with there, and then here we goes the A equals C with this top edge being an A, the bottom edge being a B, and then in that measured move right to high. So your yen could play out well. I know Chris has a couple hourly strategies that we may look to pull. So am watching that indeed. And with the euro dollar already making some moves lower, but not as much as the pound dollar, then makes sense for that. The pound yen, obviously a little more under pressure than the euro yen, so could play catch up early on in the week. So watching that as well. Would rather see a slight bounce to sell into. That's the course of action for the plan. And if you could get somewhere near towards 111.50 back, that may bode well. And looking to capture that. Euro yen, we have another strategy. Is a lot of it is based off of the cloud, but now that we broke back below the Kijun and the Tenkin for the first time since the second week of December, this bodes well. So even stops against 112, but again, rather see a little slight bounce, and then look for it to stay above. Look for it to stay below, and then looking for that reverse course of action. In my opinion, having it at 111.57, that's like normal stops for me, about 40 to 50 pips. Tad bit of a risk, but looking at it at the hourly, already did break those areas, but still 111.70. I'd rather get that full back test to 111.50, bottom side of the cloud. That will give us right near the Tinkin, even a spike. We'll then look for 4-hour close below, and then look for this to start making some massive moves lower, and it could be enough that sends us to 100. So I'm looking to top pick this somewhere in the near term. Euro Aussie again is going to be one I look at. If we don't play that breakout, that fourth wave thrust to the top side, then the Euro Aussie on the daily time frame to look good short at that 50 zone, okay, and then can start making some swift moves lower, right? So watching that as well, 127.50, come back under pressure, and then look to fill that gap lower. So watch out for the euro. Has made a nice run up. I would say it was a sweet run up, but still has lower levels preferred as we head into the new year. Okay. 129, I like 130 even. Bigger buy areas later on. So looking to capture that. 133.50 still is possible. Okay. Just take that notice. 133.50 still is possible to complete it. Now that would make sense because dollar Swiss is still a good short. All right. Let me show you guys 2 seconds. Have it on another chart. Close this one out. Okay. And let's even That should be good. All right. So here, back test here. We could look at it even on the daily. All right. Uh, I have to take that one off too. Okay. Let's close out this chart. Duplicate one of my others. All right. Here we go. Okay. So the daily chart here. So retesting. The 61.8 extension tab lower 90.39. So given that rally and risk, well, at least for the euro and sell off in dollar Swiss, my opinion is still A B. Looking for that C wave. The C could extend lower to 87, but looking at the euro dollar has more appeal to the top. But again, pullbacks is a buy. Here we have that top edge resistance, now support. So on the daily time frame, and the same thing here. So may play that dollar Swiss short. I do like, but essentially that matches up with the Euro Aussie long anyway on that breakout. So playing still that Euro move. Euro Aussie breaks the top side, that will make sense because then the dollar we were shown before with the extensions, one more high could bode well. There's no divergence to really call that a top yet, but the air is getting thin, and then 130.50 could be the end of it, and then we start seeing that massive wave, and then from there we will see where the euro yen is at, so we could start making those moves there as well. But keep in mind on a longer time frame, euro dollar is a buy. All right, so pullbacks. Just so you know where you're at in the market. Longer time frame, it's a buy. We're just looking to play both ends of it. Short term, looking for one more squeeze higher for the euro, a return to back test, resistance, now support. Also, see if we could get this rising trend line, and then really start looking higher into 145. So, what does that mean? That means for the where we see the Aussie very bearish, we see the Kiwi bearish, Euro Aussie and Euro Kiwi will rip to the top side after that next setback because looks like the corrections on the other hand are much deeper. So there we give look for Euro Aussie to fill this gap and then look for moves to continue higher to the top side. Okay. ABC, this could be a bigger A, then sell off to B, and then really make some moves, or 1, 2, and then really make moves higher. Okay? Make sense, guys? Everybody with me? Again, this video is being recorded, so you guys can always rewatch it, and we'll see how the markets plays out. So earlier on in the week, may play that dollar Swiss. Do like that bottom edge there. Right now, euro dollar is trading at 131.75. Okay, so a little gap to the downside. Watch out for this support now turn for this resistance now turn support. That top edge here, and one more hike still could be in the cards. Okay, and with that being said, we may play the hourly euro dollar strategy. Where the taking cross to the top side. If we get that bullish crossover, that could bode well. Looking for that bottom pick from moves into 133.50 before lower. Hence, but looking to take advantage of dollar Swiss earlier on, and we'll see if we could catch those two as we head into the end of the year. So those two also still like Euro Aussie, and we'll like Euro Yen after Euro Dollar. Hopefully hits those targets and see where your yen is at. Alright guys, so let's wrap this up. Always a pleasure talking to you guys. You have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. I'm in the chat room here and there. Okay, I'm in the chat room here and there, so Skype, if you really need me or want to talk, you could just Skype me all the time. If I'm not by computer, I have it on my phone. I'm very accessible. Watch out your emotions, guys. That's something to hopefully help out with more into the new year. We are also one other One other addition is probably we'll change the chat room so you guys can see the back logs back, but also at the same time there'll be a lot of more administrative stuff in terms of deleting comments. Like the negativity part is basically no point of it. Um, if you need to release your stress, go get a punching bag. Um, so something look to do more of on the administrative part going forward, and even sort of banning certain people uh, with certain comments going forward. Again, we post results anyway, so don't worry about that. But even on for somebody who doesn't know how to trade, that negative part is just really pointless. So keep notice of that. I don't think nobody in here does that. I'm not sure, but watch that. Corinne says, "How long have I been trading? I've been trading since I was 18. So you give, I'm getting old. I've been trading 8 years. 8 years. Yeah. So I started pretty young, but I know kids who start younger than that. I have a little brother. He started learning. He started at 16. He's 17, so he started a year ago. Um, yeah, you've been training for 3 months. That's pretty. I'm not sure how old you are, but take your time with it. Um, in my opinion, you shouldn't be trading live. Um, Live in terms of real money because you're too new to it. You want to get used to the ins and outs of it, and just start getting the ball rolling. In my opinion, I hope you've been trading stocks, so the emotional part or whatever. But yeah, we can talk about that. You can Skype me specifically, and we can talk about all of those things. Um, but let's wrap this up, guys. Always a pleasure talking to you guys, and we'll see you all in the room or Skype me. For those who are taking the last week off, and if you celebrate Christmas, happy Christmas, happy New Year, happy Kwanzaa, happy Boxing Day for those in Canada, UK, and Australia, New Zealand. Um, Happy holidays to everybody. Okay, the world didn't end. We got through December 21st, so let's look forward to a new year. And cheers.